Kuala Lumpur has the best food in the world, but it's boring because there isn't enough to do, and the people in KL aren't so friendly. These are all things we have read about Kuala Lumpur, but are they all true? Well, after visiting Kuala Lumpur multiple times now, and after living in Malaysia for a year in 2020, I think it's time that we set the record straight. My name is Ryan, my wife Emily and I are the Snail Travelers. The people in Kuala Lumpur are unfriendly. Okay, I'm starting with this one because of all the items I'm going to discuss in this video, this is the one that I disagree with the most. The people in Kuala Lumpur are some of the friendliest we have encountered all over the world. Everyone we have interacted with in Kuala Lumpur has been so helpful, so full of smiles, laughter, and joy. The people we've met here would give us the shirt off their backs if we asked them to do that. Just about everyone here speaks English, and let me tell you, that goes a long way to making it easier to meet people. And yeah, I know I talk about the friendliness of the people in my videos from other countries, but here, the friendliness is at a higher level. Kuala Lumpur is also a great place to meet some other travelers and other YouTubers. There always seems to be somebody passing through or spending time in KL to meet up with. So yeah, when I read this discussion online about whether or not the people in KL are friendly, I knew right away, based on our experience here, that it is not at all true. Kuala Lumpur is one of the cheapest big cities for expats. So yeah, I'm going to agree with this statement. By international standards, Kuala Lumpur is an extremely affordable city for housing, shopping, food, and transportation. When we are in Kuala Lumpur for just a short-term visit, we usually stay in a 2- or 3-star hotel, and the cost for a room in one of these basic hotels is usually in the $20 range per night, plus or minus a few dollars depending on the neighborhood. For a longer visit, let's say for 1 month, you can find Airbnb apartments in a nice, modern high-rise apartment building in the $500 to $600 range per month. And if you are fortunate enough to live here long-term, you can rent a comfortable apartment for the $300 or $400 range per month on a 1-year lease. Food costs are low. A roti canai breakfast for 2 people would be around $1 total, maybe $4 or $5 for 2 street food meals or meals at a simple restaurant, and $10 to $15 for 2 people at a table service restaurant such as Secret Recipe or somewhere like, let's say, Nando's. Overall, if we were living in Kuala Lumpur, we think our cost of living would be in the $1,200 to $1,400 range for the 2 of us to be comfortable, although many Malaysian people live comfortably on less, and many expats need to spend more. I'll put our sample budget for living in Kuala Lumpur down in the description below, and for videos on the cost of living and life in KL in general, do a YouTube search for the channel called Andrew Taylor. Taylor is an expat who is retired in KL and has very helpful videos. But yeah, I do have to agree with this website that states that KL is one of the cheapest cities in the world for expats compared to other similarly sized cities in the world. Kuala Lumpur is boring. I actually saw this claim a few times, and it's another claim that I am going to disagree with. There really is a lot to do here, and one of the most vibrant places in the city is KLCC Park. This park at the base of the Petronas Towers, probably the most iconic building in Malaysia, if not all of Southeast Asia. And at night, the fountains in the park light up in different colors and rhythms to keep everyone entertained. Come here, well, really any time of day, but especially after dark, and there is nothing boring about it, believe me. And not far away from there is one of KL's newest attractions, which is the Saloma Bridge, which, as you can see by the people, is pretty popular for residents and tourists alike. Once the sun goes down, the bridge lights up in constantly changing colors, so you have to stick around for a few minutes to get the full effect. Another pleasant location to visit at night is the River of Life. I wouldn't say it's as spectacular as KLCC Park or Saloma Bridge, but it certainly isn't boring, I'll tell you that. In the same area, we've got the fabulous 𝗟𝗏𝗃 Mosque, another icon of the city that is open to visitors. Also, we have the Central Market, full of small family-run shops with a nice selection of items available for purchase. And then not too far away is the area around Merdeka Square and the Sultan Abdul Samad building, a stunning piece of architecture and home to several government offices. And everyone who lives in or visits Kuala Lumpur should eventually make their way to Batu Caves. You'll sweat like you've never sweat before getting up to the top, but it's worth it for the experience. A few more things include a visit to Chinatown, go up the observation tower to get a view of the city, visit the fantastic Islamic Arts Museum, or just spend all day riding the escalators at one of the malls if you really want to. The point is, I don't think Kuala Lumpur is dull. It's as vibrant as any other big city I've been to, and completely disagree with the idea that the city is boring. Kuala Lumpur's transportation system is bad. This is another statement that I am going to disagree with. I personally think the public transportation system in Kuala Lumpur is fabulous. I mean, just look at the map of the train system here. The trains go just about everywhere. Now, getting around on the trains can take some time, but that has to do more with the size of the city being so large and less to do with the trains somehow being slow or inefficient. However, the traffic is another story. It can be heavy, but what big city is there in the world that doesn't have traffic congestion, right? Overall, we love the transportation system in KL. If we were living here, we would not own a car. Why would we? Getting around on public transportation is so easy. And I think the transportation system matches, if not exceeds, many other big cities in Southeast Asia. Kuala Lumpur is one of the best food cities in the world. Yes, 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 absolutely agree. You knew I was going to agree with this one if you've watched our other videos from around Malaysia, didn't you? And the thing we think is so fabulous about the food in Kuala Lumpur is the diversity. You knew I was going to say that too, right? You've got the Malay food, the Indian food with the fabulous curry flavors and spices, and of course, let's not forget about the Chinese food. Forget about the fancy restaurants here. Go for the street food or the small restaurants that have been operating by the same family for multiple generations. And if your stomach isn't growling after seeing these photos and video clips, then something is definitely wrong with you. No doubt about that. And we love it when we go to eat at a place where we share a table with the friendly locals like you see here. So yeah, I do not hesitate even for 1 second in agreeing that Kuala Lumpur deserves its reputation for being one of the best cities in the world for food. Quickfire categories. All right, let's quickly go over just a few more categories, starting with the statement that Kuala Lumpur has some of the world's best hospitals. We have been in hospitals and medical clinics in many countries all over the world, and I do have to say, Malaysia's medical care definitely ranks at the top, at least in our experience, and I'm talking both quality and price. Next, Kuala Lumpur is a safe city, and yeah, I'm going to say this is generally true. We have never felt unsafe here. We have heard of a few minor theft issues, but overall KL feels very safe to us, and we have never worried about our security. Here's a statement that KL is not very walkable. I'm going to disagree, although I will say I think it depends on the neighborhood. The places in KL that we have visited, especially the central areas, do have pretty nice sidewalks. These sidewalks do sometimes get crowded, but overall, we think KL's walkability factor is decent enough. And finally, a comment on the pollution. I'm going to disagree that it is overly polluted. Compared to somewhere like Bangkok, I don't think the air pollution is that bad. However, the city is by no means free from air pollution, and sometimes smoke can blow into the city from fires in Indonesia. So there you have it, my friends, the truths and the lies about Kuala Lumpur, at least the way we see it. But let me know what you think down in the comments, especially if you live in KL. It would be great to hear your perspective. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future videos from Malaysia. Click this playlist to see our past videos from Malaysia. And over here, we have another video for you to check out. Thanks for traveling with us.